November 4th, 1983, the play that Castle fans will never forget, the kickoff, the lateral, and a touchdown by Bloomington South's Brad Jackson put an end to the 1983 Castle season. But this is a new season, and the Castle Knights are back better than ever. Castle opened their season with Memorial. The Tigers played the Knights tough, but in the end, it was a 16-7 Castle victory. The next week, it was the North High Huskies, and again, the Knights were victorious. This time, 25-13. Last week, it was Central, and the Bears led for 2 quarters, but it was all Castle in the second half, as the Knights posted a 28-7 win. Tonight, Castle opens at home and goes for their 28th consecutive regular season win in a row against the Terre Haute South Braves.
This is a WEHT Sports exclusive. Tonight, the Castle Knights take on the Terre Haute South Braves. And now, live from Paradise, Indiana, here's WEHT Sports Director Bill Weber and former Harrison High School football coach Don Watson.
It is a wet and rainy evening in Warwick County, but still an excited crowd is on hand as the Castle Knights are here for the 4th week of the high school football season. The fans have seen the Knights win their first 3, and tonight they're hoping for their 4th straight win. It's Castle's home opener. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Weber, and welcome to another exciting season of high school football on WEHT. We're glad you're along. It's always a pleasure to welcome back to the Channel 25 family former Harrison High School coach Don Watson. And Coach, Castle is, well, they're 3-0. They've outscored their opponents 69-27. Is it basically the same Castle club we've seen the past couple of years?
I think, Bill, it's the same type of football team. They have some problems that they're working on. For example, Coach Lighty said their defense may be a half a step back, but that's the thing that he says experience will take care of, and I'm sure that'll happen. The receivers, of course, you replace Joe Huff and you replace Deion Chester, you've got problems. Backfield-wise, Andy Keller, he said, worked hard on his skills all summer, and he's looking good. They've still got some people who can run the football. Jeff Mickle is awfully quick off the ball, and of course they got Scott Thurman and the other fullback, Francis, and they're tough people. They're going to be a good football team.
Well, it should be a good football game. Terre Haute South comes in 1-1, and their head coach Rod Schaefer told us they'll be starting their 3rd string quarterback tonight because of injuries. We'll see what happens. The kickoff is coming up right after we take a quick timeout.
Hi, I'm John Bassmeyer. The governor has
Cross and will receive to our right Terre Haute South. The Braves visiting from Vigo County will kick off moving left to right. So it'll be the Castle Knights and the Terre Haute South Braves, and briefly touching on the Braves, Don, a 3rd string quarterback will get the call tonight. That'll be Kyle Kramer because of injuries to their top 2 quarterbacks knocked out in the first 2 games.
Yes, and I imagine, Bill, he might have been a running back that they just had to convert to a quarterback spot. They're 1-1 for the season. You know, they were beaten last week by Terre Haute North, which is one of the finer teams, and in fact, they're out playing Rights on the hill tonight. But they beat Bloomington South, so they're 1-1 for the season. Here we go.
Here's the kick, a low, wobbly kick, taken at about the 10-yard line, straight forward, straight up the middle to the right. It looks like Nick Holmes on the return, out near the 30-yard line, and that's where Castle will take over 1st and 10 as we check out the offense. Andy Keller, the quarterback, starting his 4th game for the Knights. Thurman and Mickle are the running backs. The receivers are Greenwell, Bolton, and Monty Goins is the flanker. The front line for the Knights, and it's a good one. Tony Mooney, Darvin Halvis, Sheridan Williams, David Seeley, and Nick Porter. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for the Castle Knights. Keller brings them up to the line of scrimmage. It is Thurman and Mickle in the I formation. Mickle is the deep back. This is Goins moving in motion toward this side. Second man through is Mickle, and he's stacked up immediately at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Dwayne Funk, the nose guard, was in on that play. As you look at the Terre Haute South defense, Brown, Lovelace, Funk, who was a good one. Dwayne Funk, number 31, the nose guard. Juan Howard and Doug Sibley getting a start tonight. The defensive secondary, Lotta and Ryan Matsur are the linebackers. Kramer is one quarterback, Finley the other. Shipley and Stevenson are the safeties. Pickup of about a yard. Call it 2nd and 9 for the Knights. Again from the eye. The pitch to Mickle looking for help, and he's stacked up in the backfield, and that'll be a loss of about 2 or 3 on the play.
Bill,
Scott
the
Finley.
coaches said 31, Dwayne Funk, the nose guard, is the guy that we should be watching. They say he's quite active, and they're really concerned about him. That's the Castle coaches. Also, Coach Schaefer said he's one of the better players. 31.
Looks like a loss of 2. Let's call it third. Well, maybe not. Call it 3rd and 10.
Seems a little confusion on the defense. They're sitting up in that 5-man front.
Goins in motion. Keller with the play action, rolling right, looking and throwing it, and it's caught by Thurman, and he's dragged down short of the first down. Kyle Kramer, who will also start at quarterback, the left cornerback, making the tackle, and it'll be 4th down for the Knights, and they'll have to kick it away. Here it is again.
There you see him in motion. This is a well-thrown pass. It's just a little sprint out, and he catches it. He catches the football, almost bobbles it. In fact, he did bobble it, but not quite enough to make the first down. This Kyle Kramer is going to be, he's going to be awfully tired when this night's over. Here he's now back, Bill, in the safety spot to catch football.
Fair catch is called for, and Terre Haute South will take over at about their own 38-yard line. Troy Shipley making the catch.
And he's the fellow we're supposed to watch on the offense for Terre Haute South. They really like him. They say he's a good one.
Kramer is the quarterback. William Taylor, a late addition to the starting lineup, and Stevenson, the running backs. Troy Shipley, as Don mentioned, one to watch. Mike Bonham and Brian Okoff, the receivers, and there's the front line led by Rian Matzer, who's a two-way player, number 61 at left guard. Keep your eye on him. He is another good one. Terre Haute South with some very good individuals on this football team under first-year head coach Rod Schaefer. On 1st and 10 from the 37. The I formation. Give to the second man through, loose ball, and it looks like South got it back. And they did. Let's see as they uncover. Looks like William Taylor was there, number 38.
Bill, they have 3 players on the ball club that are going both ways, and that being Mark Stevenson, their tailback, Troy Shipley, their wide receiver who's so good, and this Riyad Mansour.
2nd and 11 for the Braves at their own 36. They shift to the pro set. This is Stevenson. Breaks a couple of tackles, still on his feet. He's got some yards. Tracked down by David Seeley, but well into Castle territory at about the 41-yard line. A fine play by Mark Stevenson, the 6-foot senior. And we'll take another look at it.
Well, here's what happened. You take a look that there was a tackle missed there at the line of scrimmage 2 or 3 times. A little roughshod tackling. I imagine the coaching staff, the Castle folks, might be a little upset over that. They just didn't put the shoulder on the fella.
1st and 10 for the Braves from the Castle 41-yard line. A rainy night in paradise. This is Taylor plunging straight ahead. Jim Francis is there along with a host of others. Saw Paul Murray in on the stop. There's the Castle defense. Francis one in, Greenwell the other, with Mullen, Seeley, and Mooney trapped in between. The defensive secondary, Scott Thurman, Paul Murray, an added starter tonight, Frankie Smith, Kevin Lockhart, Jamie Holland, who's a quarterback, and Troy Bolton, another two-way player. Pickup of about 3, we'll call it 2nd and 7 from the pro set. Kramer calling signals, calls his own number, and plunges forward near the Castle 35-yard line.
I don't know whether that was a quarterback sneak or a fumble. It looked like he might have bobbled the football.
Thurman and Murray making the stop. 3rd and about 4 for the Braves. Just underway. 7.5 minutes to go. Opening quarter. Castle High School. The Knights 3-0. The South Braves 1-1. Kyle Kramer, the 3rd-string quarterback, calling signal. Sets his team. The give is to Stevenson. Breaks tackles around the left side. Again, another good gain. And finally ridden out of bounds. But has plenty for a first down.
It looks to me like, Bill, that they're not going to be able to throw the football very often, so consequently they're running it. They found a little weakness over on the backside, and here you can see it again. He was stopped, 72. Bobby Biggs got an arm on him, but he just didn't get that shoulder deep enough.
So Mark Stevenson looks strong for South in the early going. They're at the Castle 25-yard line. And now Scott Thurman coming over for an equipment repair, it looks like.
Mike also will take his place. I imagine that equipment will get repaired real quick. They've got to have that fella. He's some football player.
First and 10 from the Castle 25. South looking impressive in the early moments. This is Stevenson again, this time stacked up on the left side. Eric Mullen in on the play, along with number 72, Bobby Biggs. Gain of about 1.5 yards. We'll call it second down and 9 for the Braves. Good Castle crowd on hand tonight, despite the wet weather. Well, it really let loose here about 6:30 tonight. It was pouring.
There's another bobble. You can see the inexperience there, Bill, of that quarterback. He's bobbled the ball a couple of times, but he's still moving the football.
Rob Fisher, the senior running back, taking the handoff. And again, we'll take a look at it. Perhaps you can see the bobble.
There it was.
Paul Murray
a little
taking
slant, just back over center.
Norm Lowry, their second-string quarterback, is out with a concussion. He won't be eligible again until Monday to see any action. So it's up to the third stringer to do it tonight. Third down, another poor exchange. Paul Murray wrapping up the quarterback, Kramer, on the keeper. And it'll be fourth down and 5. Owensboro Catholic jumping in front of Henderson County tonight by the score of 7-0 in the first quarter. Dean Webster at halftime will have plenty of scores and more, so stay with us. Right now, we're going to get a mammoth field goal attempt. This will be a 35-yard attempt. Mike Boone, a junior, 5'10", 130 pounds, and now we have a timeout called by Terre Haute South. So South is going to call timeout, and we're going to have a conference.
Well, I'll tell you, Bill, they've got problems with their quarterback. Coach Schaefer told us before the ball game. They've fumbled the ball a few times. They're running the ball pretty well. Castle doesn't seem to be doing as well tackling as they normally do. But the good fellow that they've got, number 82, who's supposed to be their fine receiver, if they can't get the ball to him, he's not going to have much of a night here tonight. And evidently, he's not going to throw the football too much.
And, of course, Kramer will be holding. College football returns to CBS tomorrow for the third straight season when the Washington Huskies travel to Ann Arbor to take on the Michigan Wolverines at 11 o'clock. Both teams going with relatively untested quarterbacks, but this a rematch of a thriller won last year by Washington 25-24. It's the first of a season-long schedule of top-notch college football on CBS. 35-yard field goal attempt by Mike Boone. It's a fake, and Castle saw it coming, and it won't go anywhere. They snapped it to Dwayne Funk, who is listed as a fullback, but is also their talented nose guard. Funk got absolutely nowhere. Castle saw it coming, and the Knights take over.
You can see it, Bill. They've got the man just a short snap back to an odd formation. He runs the ball, but he didn't fool anybody, so there's what happened. It's probably better than a punt, but the ball is now on about the 28-yard line.
And now an official's timeout on the field. Probably see a lot of that tonight, drawing off the ball. We're all set to resume. So it'll be first and 10 for Castle. From about their own 22-yard line. Keller on the pitch. And struggling to get back to the line of scrimmage looked like Troy Bolton. Riyad Mansour on the stop.
Riyad, here you see it. I think Riyad was on a stunt going to his backside, and as you see, again, he didn't make the stop completely. He slowed the ball carrier down. Riyad Mansour. It goes both ways for him. They really like him. They think he's a fine football player. He's awfully quick.
That was Monty Goines on the end around. Loss of 2. It'll be second and 12. Straight up the middle this time. First man through. And little yardage there. That was Jim Francis on the carry.
They're a 50 defense. Of course, they have variations off of it. He said, I doubt very much if you will see us in any even defense, Bill. So they're playing standard 50 defense like you see so much. With number 31's always on the nose.
Mike Hall still checks out, and John Greenwell, the receiver, checks in. He's tight on the right side. Goins is the wing. Split receiver to the left, out of the I formation with motion. On 3rd and long. This is Goins around the right side. He's got some blockers, he's got some yardage, and it looks like he's got the first down. Bonnie Goins right now by Riyad Mansour.
The backside, here you see him on the chase. He was blocked. But you see him cut football player. There you see him, number 61. Monty Goins, excellent run there on a little reverse back to the strong side. That's the longest run tonight, Bill.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights. Keller on the delay, and Mickle loses his footing as he gets the ball and goes down.
That didn't seem to fool anybody. That I think if Castle starts putting the ball in the air, they're going to loosen up those linebackers, and consequently their running game will go a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe I don't think that ball would be too wet to be throwing it.
Just shy of the 39-yard line. Loss of about 3. It'll be 2nd and 13 for Castle. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. A scoreless first quarter to this point. And I'll look for the Knights to go to the air right here on 2nd and 13. Keller with the option, rolling left, throwing, wide open as Francis, big yardage, 40, 35-yard line. Big gain for Castle on a play that worked well. Jim Francis, the junior, dragged down by Mark Stevenson, the free safety.
Well, Bill, here you see the fullback, the up back there that comes right through the line, slips through, and by the time his coverage has to be from a linebacker, and he's out there by himself. So that's a great play, and I'm sure they won't throw that one away. They'll come back to that a little bit later on, especially when they find out he's not being covered. Nice throw.
1st and 10 from the 35. Keller calling signals. This is Mickle on the back exchange. He gathers it in and gets down to the 30-yard line. Scott Latta and again Riyad Mansour in on the stop.
Well, the Knights have got the ball. They're moving the ball pretty well. Of course, it takes a while. You know, we've got to spar a little bit out there to find out what this ball club's going to do, and consequently, I think they're beginning to see things that where there may be an opening, and consequently, they're taking advantage of it.
Two fighters in the early rounds feeling each other out. 2nd and 4. This is Mickle again, stacked up at the line of scrimmage, but falls forward for a couple and maybe just shy of the first down. We'll have to see it. It should be 3rd and short for the Knights. Brian Lovelace, the 6'1 junior, in on the stop.
Here you see it again. Of course, it's just the blast, and he does blast. This fellow runs hard. He runs with good balance, and as Coach Lighty says, he likes to run over people, and I think that's a good back when they do things like that.
3rd and 2 for the Knights. Mickle again gets a ball. Big hole, big yardage. Out across the 5, or across the 10 rather, down near the 5-yard line. Jeff Mickle busted it right up the middle, and Castle is knocking at the door. Kramer made the stop.
Here you see it again, Bill. It's just big. Well, it's just a power play right up the middle, and there's some good blocking up front. And the next thing you know, number 32 is trying to make the stop. Mark Stevenson, he's the other fellow who's going to be tired before the night's over. He's the one that had to make the stop.
1st and goal for Castle from the south 4-yard line. Again, it's Mickle, and he is down, and he is in.
There you see it, Bill, and he's doing an excellent job of running over Tony Mooney and Darvin Halvis. There's a guy they like to go over. They, Coach Laddie said they really fire off of the line of scrimmage.
The point after attempt is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Steve Peters The place kicker makes it good. And Castle converts. So with 1:12 to go in the first quarter to score the Knights 7 and South nothing. So, John, an impressive long drive for the Knights.
Looks like they found some things that maybe we give the credit to the staff upstairs. Of course, I think we ought to mention the Castle Knights staff. They're a fine bunch of fellows. Of course, Coach Leidy being the head coach, Jerry Sims, Bob Rogers, John Evers, Mark Anderson, Bob Bennett. Mark and Bob up here in the booth with us. They do it. Bill Bennett, I'm sorry. But they do an excellent job. They're picking things up here, and they seem to find out what might be a weakness here. Riyadh might be too active. So he is very quick. He's very quick, and
David Seeley to kick off. High, booming, end-over-end kick. Comes down at the 10-yard line, fumble, picked up. This is Troy Shipley getting across the 25, and a flag goes down. And we'll have to see what the call is.
You know, Bill, it seems odd today. Every time we have a kickoff, whether it's college, pro, high school ball, it seems like we're just throwing flags all the time. Maybe we ought to just give the ball to the guy on the 20 and not have to worry about it. I'm sure this was blocking below the knees. And that has eliminated a lot of injury, I'm sure.
The thing about it is the kickoff, one of the most exciting plays in the sport.
That's right.
So South will be penalized. And the Braves will start deep in their own territory. There you see the call, and it will be 1st and 10 at about the 14-yard line for South with just over a minute to go in the first quarter. Kyle Kramer, the third-string quarterback, has his team in the I formation. Calling signals. Second man through is Stevenson, and he's grabbed, and it looked like Tony Mooney was there. Check that. It was Biggs. Bobby Biggs, number 72.
He's the other side of the line. He's a fine football player, and he's a good defensive player, moves quickly off the ball. Here you see it there. And I'm sure that the Terre Haute South folks who were having some success with that a while ago, they're getting that kind of closed down.
Again, it is Stevenson trying the left side where he's been successful before, but not this time. Met by a swarm of Castle tacklers. Mike Austell was over there. Scott Thurman also went on the tackle. And John Greenwell, number 87.
That was a safety blitz. You saw it coming. Number 10, Jamie Holland, I think, was the fellow that was coming up. And we may see a lot of that tonight on both sides as far as that's concerned, because this ball club has shown us right now at the end of the first quarter that they can't throw the football. So I'm sure Cass will be bringing those people up and playing.
And that is the end of the first quarter.
I thought I saw, Bill, you correct me. You thought something, I'm looking out there and it says 12-0-0. That means another quarter, I assume. All right, here we go. 7-0 into the first quarter, Castle Knights.
When our customers trade in their...
Well, Castle has just stopped Stevenson on third down, so now it is fourth down, and Terre Haute South is forced to punt it away from deep in their own territory. They kick a wobbly one that bounces just shy of midfield, takes a Castle bounce, and is down at about the 42-yard line of South. So Castle will start the second quarter with excellent field position and a 7-0 lead to boot.
I believe they would like to have that one over. And talking to Coach Leidy before the ball game, he was talking about his offensive line, Bill, and he told me something that is excellent coaching when you can see. He said our play of our action away from the play is not as good as it should be. I'll explain that to you a little later on.
1st and 10 for the Knights from the Braves, 41-yard line. The end around to Goins. He's got some blockers. He's got some room and is cut down. Finally, inside the 30-yard line down near the 27 by Mark Stevenson, the safety, making the play.
Darwin Halvis comes out here, and you'll see him, number 64. He gets out. He does a nice job of containing and forces the play back to the inside, but he did an excellent job of blocking there.
Castle has already driven 78 yards in 9 plays, a drive that took 4 minutes and 15 seconds. That's the only scoring drive of the game so far. 10 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the first half. First down and 10 from about the 28-yard line. Goins in motion. Keller takes the snap. Straight forward. Little room there for Jeff Mickle. Brian Loveless, left tackle, and again, Riyad Mansour, the 5'11", 186-pound senior that we were told to watch, there to make the play. How's he doing now, Doc?
He's an excellent football player. He's quick. I think early he was a little jittery, and consequently, I think Castle was picking that up. If you watch the defense now, Castle's kind of in pretty good shape because they're picking up any kind of action in that secondary.
Again, the nice try of the straight-ahead move that goes for little. Scott Thurman on the carry. Wayne Funk found his senior nose guard there to shut that play down. It'll be third down and 10 for Castle.
A while ago, Bill, when I was telling you that Coach Lighty said we needed better action away from the play, what happens is this. If you're running the ball right, your left side people have got to block and then get downfield and get into that secondary. He said we need more action there.
Troy Bolton split to the top of your screen. Goins in motion on third and 10. Keller takes the snap, still has it, rolling right, he's in trouble, and he's sacked. Brought down by number 42. That's Franklin Brown, the defensive left end, the 6'2", 185-pound senior that got through with little difficulty. Here it is again, Donna. Watch the bottom of your screen.
All right, here you see it's a little roll. He's coming to the side. Of course, he didn't have much chance to throw the ball. Plus, the fact he could have gotten hit from the backside too.
Loss of about 8. It'll be fourth down and 18. Holmes kicking it away, way out of bounds, and this will not bode well, I don't believe, for Castle. Let's see where they mark it. At about the 19-yard line, so it's inside the 20, and that's where Terre Haute South will take over first and 10 at about their own 19-yard line. On a Saturday, boxing from CBS, Tommy Hearns going against Fred Hutchings. That's at 2:30 on CBS Sports Saturday. 8.5 minutes to go in the first half, 7-0 Castle on top. Kramer calling signals. The pitch out goes to Stevenson, testing the right side. And breaking a couple of tackles and getting through a log jam of players, busting out near the 25-yard line. Boy, he's an impressive runner. Bobby Biggs, who has been busy defensively tonight, makes a stop, and here it is again.
Well, that's just a little sweep, and once again, I'm sure that when we see the film on this, we're not going to be too happy. We're hitting people, but we're not wrapping them up, and I'm sure that the coaches will have something to say about that.
Pickup of 6, it's 2nd and 4 for the Braves. From the eye, first man through. Out near the first down, let's see who made the carry. That's William Taylor, number 38, getting up. David Seeley, the nose guard, helped out by Biggs. And it is just shy. It'll be third down and inches.
A while ago, Bill, we talked about the people who were going both ways for the South Braves. Troy Bolton, Tony Mooney, David Seeley, Scott Thurman, and also John Greenwell for the Castle Knights were out there giving it 48 minutes.
There you see the measurement. And they have the first down. Well, a smart ploy by Rod Schaefer, head coach of Terre Haute South. He said, let's see how short we are. And we're not. So it's a first down for the South Braves. At the 28-yard line. 7:35 to go. First half, 7-0 Castle on top. Wet night at Castle High School, Warwick County. Kramer calling signals out of the pro set. Straight ahead give. This is Stevenson again. John Greenwell in on the stop, along with Paul Murray. Murray, a 5'10", 170-pound junior, starting tonight for John Leidy's Castle Knights.
You know, with Greenwell and Francis at the anchor spots at the end, they're two tough football players, and if they're going to keep trying to pursue that outside, they may find that a pretty difficult task.
Pick up 2, it'll be 2nd and 8 for the Braves. Stevenson and Fisher shift to the pro set. The pitch goes to Stevenson. Troy Bolton had him first, and they got out. Biggs is there, Thurman is there.
That was a fine stop by Thurman.
Paul Murray also went on the play. Coming up at the half, we'll hear from Dean Webster, who's got scores and more. Randy Rogers, an interview on the Aces opener tomorrow at Wayne State. Billy Mitchell on his Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers getting ready for tomorrow's home opener against Georgetown. And we'll have an inside look at, well, let's call them the halftime heroes, the Castle Band. All coming up with Dean Webster at halftime of tonight's Castle Terre Haute South game.
And we saw something tonight pregame that I have never seen, and you haven't either. Castle Freshman Band. 75 members, or am I short? What a great bunch of people.
I did not take roll call.
You did not? Sorry. Did you watch it?
Yes, I did. Very entertaining. They did a enterprising number before the game and played the national anthem. A fine, entertaining band.
And was received well by the Castle varsity.
Certainly was. We'll be looking at the varsity band at halftime. Delay now out on the field. I believe that was for an equipment repair. And now they're telling Stevenson, I'm not sure he can come back in. Coach Rod Schaefer
He would probably, Coach, would like to rest him a minute, don't you think, Bill? This fella does. He's been doing it all tonight. All 3 of those guys that have been going both ways. Terre Haute South has been 1 for 3 on third down conversions, and we're having a little confab across the field.
As long as we're doing that, we might as well go ahead and mention the officials tonight. The referee is Jim Wagner. Howard Knopfmeyer is the linesman. Mike Fisher is the line judge, and Larry Lyons is the umpire. There you see tonight's officiating crew.
Howard Knopfmeyer played freshman ball for me years ago. He's a teacher at Elfrey Park.
And he looks marvelous, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. It's a nice jump.
Don, I'm sure you're looking forward to festivities ahead at U of E, some groundbreaking ceremonies later this year for
That's going to be marvelous.
Structure.
If you haven't been to the U of E football game since we've been on campus, it's really an exciting thing. There's something about it on campus that's a completely different atmosphere. Here we go.
3rd down and 8 now. Big play for South midway through the 2nd quarter.
That may be the reason, Bill, that we see this fella not being able to throw the ball. That was a little dump pass out to Brian McGrone, and as you see, he doesn't have a very good action, and threw the ball on the ground, but they've been doing a pretty good job on the ground.
And now the quarterback, Kramer, will kick it away. Bolton and Kevin Lockhart are deep. A short kick off to the right and bounces out of bounds right at the 40-yard line.
Bill, that might have been about a 6-yard kick. Pardon me, it was 10, our statistician said. A 10-yard kick. He may be the best offensive player Castle has tonight.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Castle at the 40-yard line. That's more of CBS Sports Saturday coming up, the Woodward Stakes from Belmont Park. 5:51 to go. In the first half, it is 7-0 Castle on top. What has been a low-scoring game. Keller to throw. But he overthrew him. Troy Bolton looking for an interference call, but did not get it. 2nd and 10. Coach Lighty told me before the game that if his team could hold Terre Haute South to just 2 scores tonight,
I started to say,
they'd
Bill,
be in business.
it looked like they weren't going to respect Castle's passing game. If you notice at times, they were up almost in a 9-man front. Here you see.
They're packed up there again on 2nd and 10. This is Goins on the end around to the near side, following his blocking still on his feet. Goins has a nice game, picks up 5 of them in 31. Stevenson in on the stop along with Dwayne Funk.
Hollis once again doing a nice job pulling. He does a good job getting out there.
You know, Castle has kept their opponents scoreless in the first quarter all season and in the third quarter all season. In fact, this team has given up just 6 second-half points in their first 3 games. So if you don't get to them in the first half, you're in trouble. 3rd and about 2. This is Mickle. And it'll be close. A host of Braves in on the stop. Dwayne Funk, the nose guard, the last man up.
On a 30-yard line, Bill. Let's see whether we're going to go for it. We wouldn't need too much if we kicked it right.
They're going to measure, and if they're shy, I'm a firm believer that John Lighty's crew will go for it on 4th and inches.
You notice that their plays are shuttled in and out by their tight ends. And they keep those fellas pretty busy. They got 3 good ones doing that. They got Mike Austell and Jeff Toon, of course, and John Greenwell. Give him a chance to rest John a little bit, too.
John, we were talking about the two-way players on this ball club. You know, looking at some tapes, getting ready for this game. Look at the names of the players that are gone just from last year. Guys like Rosemer, Joe Huff.
Some excellent players that are gone. But when you've got a situation like they've got going up here, everything seems to... Every year you replace them with people, maybe not quite the caliber, but they're still good football players, and they're strong people, and their program is strong. Consequently, it's going to take them a couple of games, but they're on a roll now.
4th down and inches. Keller calling signals. This is Mickle. He's got the first down.
Here you can see it. These people are going for a short yardage play. They get a block, and Mickle's quick. He steps right up inside, and the next thing you know, he's dancing at that goal line, and he's got good, quick speed.
So Jeff Mickle has his 2nd touchdown of the evening, his 8th of the season. And Steve Peters will attempt his 2nd extra point. It's a fake, and it was spelled out by the Braves.
Well, we'll work on that one again next week. It looked excellent in practice, guys, but somehow or another we didn't get an assignment up front.
Frankie Smith took the snap lateral at forward, and that was sniffed out. And the Castle Knights, on their home opener, going for their 4th win of the season, on top with 4 minutes, 32 seconds to go in the first half by the score of 13-0. Here's the point after attempt again.
Well, there was too much penetration. As you can see, we had a blitz coming up the middle. We didn't block the fella. He wondered what he found when he saw that gentleman cutting across the back. We're going to see it again maybe later on. This time we won't tell that defensive man what he's supposed to do.
4-play, 40-yard drive, taking up just 1 minute and 19 seconds. And the Knights are on top 13-0.
Jeff's kind of putting a pad on his scoring tonight, isn't he?
David Seeley again will kick off. This is Shipley at about the 2. 5, 10, 15. Breaks a tackle, runs into his own man, and then is stacked up at about the 23-yard line, where South will take over. And the Braves have not had ideal field position to start any of their drives here in the first half. And with 4:24 to go, they'd like to get a long march together now.
You know, David Seeley's a fellow that does a yeoman's job out there. He's a kickoff man. He's a nose guard. He's a strong side guard. He's an excellent football player.
It'll be 1st and 10, 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the second quarter. Kramer is the quarterback. Stevenson and Fisher in a pro set. This is Fisher for a couple off the right side.
We were just told up here that Seeley has the school record on kickoff, 56 yards per kick. That's good kicking. I've seen Indiana would love to have that in college.
Pick up of 3, it'll be 2nd and 7. Taylor back into the backfield, replacing Fisher. He's there with Stevenson. Kramer throwing on 2nd and 7. And he's got Mike Bonham for a first down out near the 35-yard line. J.B. Holland on the stop.
Bill, they've thrown 2, and you see he just steps up, those little jump passes, he's trying to keep those linebackers from getting up in there too close. But I don't think we'll see that fella throwing many long passes.
It's good for a first down from the 36-yard line. The Braves still in business. We tick down toward the 3-minute mark in the first half. 13-0 Castle. Kramer to throw again. Looks, throws long. He's got a man out there, and it's incomplete.
Well, he just proved one thing to us, Bill. He can throw the long ball. I don't know whether it was a throw or a heave, but once again, he's going to keep some people honest.
That was intended for Brian Oppoff.
There you see it. Oppoff just ran a streak pattern.
Came down with it, but out of bounds. And it'll set up a 2nd and 10 for South.
Frankie may loosen up on him a little bit now. Here we go again.
This is Bonham. He had it and dropped it. He had it for a sure first down and dropped the ball out. It go right through his hands. And now it's 3rd and 10. And suddenly South is throwing the ball.
I don't know whether that's a throw or a heave, but he's at least getting it out there. Coach Jerry Sims of Castle was a little unhappy with the coverage on that.
Hit him in a bad place, right in the hands. 3rd and 10. Kramer apparently changing the play at the line. On
Here's a draw.
This is Stevenson. Bobby Biggs is there. John Greenwell is there. And Stevenson is down. Jim Francis in on the tackle, and it'll be 4th and a mile. And South will be forced to punt it away. And now we have a timeout called by Castle with 2:53 to go. And the Knights are going to work to get all that time back on the clock when they get the ball back. Monty Goins with 4 carries for 40 yards so far for Castle, and Jeff Mickle 10 carries for 64 yards, and of course 2 of those for touchdown run.
I like that last play. It was a draw. I guess they feel like they've loosened Castle up enough that they got a thinking pass. And what did they do? They didn't fool anybody. Here we go.
Don't forget, coming up in just 2 minutes and 53 seconds on the scoreboard clock, Gene Webster will have scores from around the high school football games tonight. Of course, updates on the Major League pennant races, which, of course, leaves the American League West the only pennant race left. The Cubs walloped the Mets today, and that puts New York on the verge of extinction. We'll hear from some of the college football coaches and a look at the Castle Band, all coming up at halftime tonight. Kramer will kick it away, a low snap. He gets it away. This is one of his better punts. Kevin Lockhart with the catch. This 36.
Look out.
To the right side. He's got room, and he's got Lockhart. It's the 40. He might go 20, 15, 10, 5. It's down.
Look back for a flag.
62-yard return, and there are 2 flags down. They will bring it back for a clip. And I believe if we look at the replay, we'll see it.
Well, it's a beautiful play, Bill, and even though it's going to be invalid, but let's see what happens if we get a replay on it. The fellow was really picking it up, and I think when he broke it and finally looked up and saw nothing but the goal line, he kind of shifted gears. And we might have had a little clip.
Still waiting for the call as the referee Jim Wagner discusses it with the Braves captain, Kyle Kramer, the quarterback, and of course, they'll accept this penalty, the flag falling near the 30-yard line. Here it is again. Let's see if we can see it.
Here we go. Here's when he I think, really looks up and sees that everything is fine. I didn't see the clip. Maybe we'll see it here. Of course,
I think it
happened behind us, and it must have been.
See if we can run that one more time when we get a chance. I think you'll see it just at the end of just as the players go out of the screen. It is a clip, moves it back to midfield. Check that, moves it back to the 45-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Castle from the Terre Haute South 45. Keller calling signals. This is Goins around the left side, trying to get away from Kramer. He does. He's got Shipley to beat, and he does. He's down to 10, down to the 5-yard line, where he's driven out of bounds. And again, Monty Goins, who has been spectacular on the end arounds tonight with a big gainer of 40 yards out of the south 5-yard line as we look at it again. Goins getting a block around the left side, just runs away from Kramer and then is off to the races, gets away from Shipley, and then had one man to beat. I believe that was Mark Stevenson back there that made the touchdown-saving tackle. Goins now with 5 carries for 80 yards. 2:25 to go, and Castle knocking at the door again. Full house backfield. Keller gives to Mickle, and he's down and he's in. Touchdown, Castle.
That was a car right, Bill. All you do is hand the ball to the deep man and take off for the middle, and that's exactly what he did. We ran over Seeley and Porter, and those
They ran behind them. He didn't run over them.
Well, he split them, let's say. But see, those poor linemen, they never get their picture in the paper, Bill. They never get. He did an excellent job. Let's take a look at it. We've got a replay on it. Jeff Mickle for his 3rd touchdown of the evening.
Spoken like a true lineman, Don.
We need to pat him.
Now Castle will try for 2 since the botched 2-point conversion moments ago. Keller calling signals. Again, the full house backfield. Again, it's Mickle, and he's tripped up. Good play in the backfield by number 31, Dwayne Funk. And again, Castle stymied on the point after attempt. So with 2:21 to go before the half, it is now Castle on top 19-0. That 2-play scoring drive covering 45 yards and took a grand total of 16 seconds, and the Knights now comfortably in control by the score of 19-0, and we've got a quarterback loosening up on the far side, and he's wearing number 8, and that is not on our roster tonight. So we could be in real trouble if the Braves make a change here.
Well, maybe it's Darnay Taylor. He's number 9. He's the closest number. Could we just call it Darnay?
Well, Darnay's out there on the kickoff
Well,
return.
we can't use him. We'll have to find out who the number 8 is. On that extra point try, Bill, the fellow that made the stop was Dwayne Funk. He's that nose guard that they were talking about that was so tough. In fact, Castle coaches told them they were going to double team him all evening. I can understand why. He's quick, and when you get people that are quick off the ball, you don't teach much of that. Those are the kind of people that you don't want to mess them up trying to give them too much technique.
You got to look at the mystery quarterback warming up on the sidelines.
Doubleheader, NFL, St. Louis, Indianapolis.
CBS Sports coverage of the NFL swings into high gear Sunday with doubleheader coverage. First, it's the St. Louis Cardinals and those surprising Indianapolis Colts from the sparkling new Hoosier Dome. The Colts off the stunning win over Houston. The Cardinals buried Buffalo last week. Both clubs are 1-1. Then it's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas destroyed by the Eastern Division leading Giants last week. The Eagles going in with a 1-1 record. It's doubleheader excitement when the Cardinals take on the Colts and the Eagles face the Cowboys. Beginning at 11:30 with the NFL Today. The NFL, CBS Sports, and WEHT all making for a season of excitement.
We have a new kickoff man. Steve Peters, number 46, going to do the kicking off.
And he is strictly a kicker on this team.
An extra point. An extra point man.
And there it is, the kick. A low, takes a high bounce. This could be trouble. Finally gathered in by Kramer, scampering around the right side near the 20-yard line and heads for out of bounds.
You know, that looks good, Bill, when you're running sideways. Unfortunately, you're not gaining much ground.
So with just over 2 minutes to play in the first half, the South Braves will try and mount some sort of an offensive drive. They had one drive stall out deep in Castle territory. Kramer is still the quarterback for Terre Haute.
Let's see if they're going to throw the ball.
They keep it on the ground. Stevenson with the carry, snapped up immediately. Scott Furman over there.
And Dave Seeley.
Such a blend of individual talent on this Castle team defensively.
And you know what's amazing? We saw the statistics on their Castle Ball Club in the last 3 games. They've only been scored on twice in the second half of the last 3 ball games. So the Terre Haute people might be in for something. Here you go.
Stevenson gets nowhere.
There's a fumble, but I think he recovered. Where do you see it, Bill? He fumbled the football as he was going down, but he managed to hang on to it. Sometimes that ball will bounce right back up to you.
Well, Shipley comes to the near side. He's their big play man, and they need a big play. 3rd and 9. They try the running game right. There's the first man there. The 6'2", 200-pound junior. And again, the Knights burn a timeout. That is their 3rd timeout.
Bobby Biggs called that. He looked towards the bench and called timeout. He wants that ball back. He wants to go into the bigger lead.
Boy, Bobby Biggs comes as advertised, doesn't he? 5'11", 240 pounds. Bobby Biggs. We'll be back here 2 weeks from tonight for our first look at one of the Evansville City Schools when the Harrison Warriors visit Paradise to take on these same Castle Knights. We'll get a chance to see Mitch Marsh and his Warriors and at the same time put a former coach to the test and see if Don Watson can remain impartial. That's 2 weeks from tonight when we move our broadcast to a special time, Friday, September 28th at 10:30 here on WEHT. That's so you can go out and see any high school game you want, then come on home and you can see the Castle Knights and the Harrison Warriors 2 weeks from tonight here on 25. Nothing personal, Don.
All right. I see Coach Evers down there doing coaching on the sideline.
Bolton and Lockhart await the kick of Kramer. It is a high, wobbly kick. Takes a bounce and, well, Kevin Lockhart with a bold move, falling on the ball after it hit the ground at about the 44-yard line. And Castle will have 51 seconds to try and put more points on the board. They already have 19 of them, while South has yet to break the seal. Don't forget, plenty of activity coming up at the half. Scores from around the high school football games tonight. An update on the pennant picture. Randy Rogers of U of E commenting on the Aces opener tomorrow. Billy Mitchell of Kentucky Wesleyan talking about his team and their home opener tomorrow. 1st and 10 for Keller. Looking, throwing long. He's got going up.
He had him out there. He was running for it.
Just couldn't quite hook up.
There you see it. Might have just run a streak. He was trying to outrun that fella, and he did it, too. But it was just a little bit over his... Kind of like he turned him around a little bit. About 3 feet away from it still.
Beautiful throw. 2nd and 10.
And he proved one thing, he got a strong arm.
33 seconds to go in the half. Again, Castle will take it up top. Keller looking right, throwing right over the middle. It is batted down and incomplete. Kyle Kramer, the quarterback and cornerback, gotten away. Intended for Troy Bolton. And it'll be 3rd and 10. And down here it is.
Here you see it. It's just a button hook. And I think we might have been wanting to use the flea flicker that they're famous for up here, but he didn't get to football.
You know, when you have the coaching staff right to your right, they can make you look like a genius sometimes, can't they, Coach?
They're telling me the place where they call him down.
They're okaying them. Now an official's timeout with 28 seconds left to go. Official timeout. It'll be 3rd and 10. Castle trying to crack the end zone and tack on 6 more before heading to the locker room for the halftime break. Again, Keller calling signals, drops back, looks, pump fakes, and then is dragged down.
We're going to have to give him a little more time.
And if I was South, I'd burn a timeout and make him kick the ball. 16 seconds left to go. Apparently they're going to be...
Maybe South don't want it.
Wouldn't you make them punt? Wouldn't you make them punt?
Well, they're going to let the clock run out. They could stop it, sure.
And it is going to expire.
They're going to be satisfied to go in behind 19-0.
Now that's the story. Castle with an impressive first half, and at the half, the score, the Castle Knights 19 and the Terre Haute South Braves nothing.
Fall's the nicest time of the year.
And the best time to fix up the house.
With Don Watson back here at Castle High School, and Don Castle on top 19-0 on a cold and, well, wet evening, and they say that rain neutralizes talent, but that hasn't been the case so far with Castle tonight.
No, you know what was, I think, interesting, that the Braves moved the ball on the Knights pretty easy, not pretty easy, but they were moving the ball early in the ball game, keeping it on the ground, just chugging away at them, and then we were commenting about the boy couldn't throw the ball too well, and he wasn't really throwing the ball well. He was just kind of, I call it shot-putting the ball out there, but then all of a sudden we looked up, and he heaved one down and almost made a connection on it. But I think Castle's, right now, they're not probably real happy with their tackling. And I don't think that the field has anything to do with it. They just were not wrapping people up, and they will see that in the film, and I imagine that they're talking about that down in the dressing room right now. But they're a strong ball club, and like I said, they've only allowed 2 touchdowns in the third and fourth quarter of the last 3 ball games. So they get stronger as the game gets in, as it gets in the later part of the game.
Coach Watson will be doing some scouting tomorrow on the road to see a former Castle player perhaps in action tomorrow.
Indiana, Kentucky should be a good football game. I'd like to see it, Evansville and Drake. I think the Aces are going to be exciting with Scott Marsh. I think they can throw the football. And, of course, Randy Rogers is an excellent passing coach. He probably knows as much about the passing game as anybody around.
Well, the Aces will be talking quite a bit about the passing game as we have in the past, but this year quite a bit of Evansville flavor, tri-state flavor. They've got Scott Marsh from Harrison. They've got Chris and Dave Rosemer from Castle. Joe Collette, of course, a longtime player out of Modern Day, and Randy Rogers now back and hoping, obviously, to improve on the 3-4-3 season of a year ago. And they have a lot of talent. Randy says it's going to take young people a while. They need to get game experience, and obviously you can't do that until you play the game. But
I think the thing that they're really being concerned about right now is giving Scotty Marsh protection. Then you forgot one fella that they're thinking it may be All-American, Al Beatty. And he's a good receiver. We know Scott can throw the ball. It's going to be interesting. And like I said earlier in our telecast, if you haven't been out to see the Aces play at Carson Center, you folks in Evansville and around this, in our tri-state area, that's a lovely place to go, and it's got a good atmosphere. Kentucky Wesleyan, excellent football coach, and Coach Mitchell over there. This fellow's been around, and his credentials and his track record has been good. He's a fine football coach, and I'm sure that that program will start moving quickly.
You know, we're talking about all this football. There's baseball going on in Princeton on Sunday afternoon. Jim Brownlee's taking his Aces up there. They're going to play Indiana State in a doubleheader at Princeton. And that's fall baseball. Jim gets a look at a lot of players, and that'll be good for his squad. If you want to go up there, tickets just $1. It all goes for a good cause, and you get to see 2 fine teams, and Jim will get to evaluate his talent as the Aces take on Indiana State.
Well, that's an invitation. We're about ready to start this second half.
What do you expect in the second half?
I think Castle will be stronger. And, you know, we've been talking about the Castle coaches up here in the booth, but one person up in the booth that is our favorite is Coach Leidy's wife, who does statistics. And tonight we really have enjoyed her because she brought up some goodies.
So you're not supposed to mention that. Some of us are dieting.
Well, I noticed, Bill, you didn't either. Here we go. Let's go to stats.
Okay, here are the first half stats. And Most of it pretty much as expected. Now, as Don has been pointing out, the passing game has not been there for South. They only have 10 yards. Castle dominating in total yardage, 169 to 73. The turnovers, obviously, none to this point, and the penalties have not played a crucial role to this extent, except calling back that one touchdown, which Castle eventually punched in anyway.
You know, that any long run anymore, I know, Bill, when I was coaching, I think every coach does this. You know, the fans love the long runs, and the coaches, when that long run is taking place, we very seldom see it. Why? And I'm sure Coach Leidy and his staff down there, when that run was going, when they were getting downfield, they were looking back behind it to see what was happening. And it's a sickening feeling when you see that yellow flag go, and it's really sickening to that fellow that was running the football. But anyway, we never did see the long runs. All we ever saw was looking backward to see what was happening behind them.
John, some of the individual stats, Jeff Mickle, 11 carries for 69 yards, and Monty Goins, who had the 40-yard run, which set up the third touchdown, 5 carries for 80 yards. Now, here's another deceptive stat. Time of possession, almost equal. Castle, 11 minutes, 49 seconds. South with just over 12 minutes. So it just shows they're holding the ball, but Castle able to do a little more with it.
You see, they stayed on the ground with it, and consequently, you keep the ball on the ground, and you get an extra point, a first down. Here you go, Bill.
David Seeley kicking off here to start the second half. This is Taylor cutting back toward the middle of the field, getting out near the 20, across the 20 to about the 25-yard line, where they'll take over first and 10. Sheridan Wheeler, a great football name, in on the stop. And it'll be first and 10 for South, and they need to get to work early against Castle, trailing 19-0. There you see the names that go with the faces on the Terre Haute South offense.
Ryan Manser is a player.
Kyle Kramer remains at quarterback. It is Fisher and Stevenson starting the second half in the backfield. This is Stevenson in motion. First time we've seen this. The give is to Fisher, and he goes nowhere, stacked up by the heart of that Castle defensive line. Bobby Biggs, number 72, in on the stop. I'll have to find out a little bit about him. He's playing well tonight.
Bobby Biggs. He's quick. He's quick for his size. And,
the brother of All-State Steve Biggs, who's at Western Kentucky now.
You know, I'm really impressed with this Terre Haute South Ball Club, Bill. I like the way they get over the ball. I think it shows good coaching. They're not shoddish, and they're a well-disciplined team.
Taylor is in for Fisher, who picked up 2. It's 2nd and 8. The pitch goes to Stevenson around the right side. Scott Furman was there, and I believe Mike Austell was also there. Check it, it was Troy Bolton in on the stop.
Well, Jim Francis did an excellent job playing at that defensive end spot. And then the next thing you know, Scott was scraping off, as we call it. He comes up, make the stop.
It's a loss of a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Shipley split to the bottom of the screen. The pitch goes to Stevenson. Dancing along the sideline lines is stacked up over there. Again, it's Bobby Biggs with help from Jamie Holland. And it'll be shy of the first down, and Terre Haute South will have to kick it away.
I think they kind of hooked Jim Francis on the play. I don't know whether it was the wing back out there coming in, but he got taken on the play, and that puts a lot of pressure on people when you get folks out in front of the game, out in front of the ball carrier.
Kyle Kramer will kick it away. Lockhart and Bolton are back waiting. His best kick of the night. Kevin Lockhart has it, fumbles it. Loose ball, Bolton fell on it, I believe. And he did, and Castle will have possession 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line.
Kevin's not too happy with that, but that happens to the best of them. I used to tell the kids that they had boxing gloves on when they would do something like that.
Andy Keller, the 6'2", 185-pound senior, back at quarterback. He's 2 of 5 for 31 yards so far tonight. The lone setback is Mickle. Look for Castle to come out throwing. Keller looking right, throwing right. He's got Bolton out there. Couldn't quite get it there. Castle looking to score in quick fashion, but couldn't make the connection. It'll be second down and 10. The quick drop and the look to the right for Bolton.
They're just running a streak pattern again. Just overthrew him a little bit. He's backing those people up. They're saying the same defense, so Bill. They probably weren't thinking about long pass on first down, but
again, Mickle is the lone setback. He came into tonight's game averaging 4.5 yards per carry, leading the Castle Knights in that category. This is Goins around the left side.
And we got a flag on the play.
Knocked out of bounds at about the 44, but let's see what the flags are all about. A couple of them down on the field. The officials talking it over.
They call it a clip.
Against the Knights, and now they're discussing it with the Braves.
That was an amazing call. He said, we'll just take the clip.
What do they say when they get those plays? I mean, they take forever. Are they discussing...
Well, sometimes, the official, they have to explain what your options are, whether it be second down in this or first down in this, blah, 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 and it takes a while for those fellows to understand what they're doing. But I can't understand when it's obvious. Now, we can't see the clip because they're trying to hit. In fact, we can't see the clip, and the film may not show the clip. But that fella said it was a clip, and we have to go along with his thinking.
Jim Wagner, is the official in charge. Tonight's referee brings up a 2nd and 25 for the Knights. Keller drops straight back, looking right. He's got Bolton open out there. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Terre Haute South, and the Braves will have their best field position. Scott Finley picked it off.
And Monty Goins made the stop.
And that's the first interception thrown this tonight, and I believe the 4th thrown this season by Keller. And Shipley was right there. I believe Castle had something special set up on that play that didn't pan out. So it's 1st and 10 for Terre Haute South at the Castle 40-yard line, their best field position to start a drive tonight. This is Stevenson trying the right side. Tries to duck back in.
Well, Jim Francis made that play go deep. And, of course, when he makes it go deep, they got to cut inside. Corners and inside linebackers got to come up and make the stop, which is exactly what they did. Here we are, 3rd quarter, Harrison 20, Bossy nothing.
And we'll
Just
see
like
the Warriors here 2 weeks from tonight.
And Terre Haute North 21, Wright 7 at halftime. Terre Haute North, a good football team.
Jasper leading Vincennes 7-0 at the half. Tell City pouring it on Boonville tonight, 17-0. That's a stunner. Boonville went in undefeated. Pickup of 1, 2nd and 9. This is Taylor struggling to get back to the line of scrimmage. He may have picked up a yard, but that'll be all. Among the games going on tonight, Princeton is playing at Mount Vernon. The Tigers go in 3-0, and the last time Princeton was 3-0, they played Mount Vernon and lost. That was back in 1969, so the Tigers going for their 4th straight win.
You've read your history book.
South is 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. This will be 3rd and 9. Kramer looking to throw, looking to his left. He's in trouble, has to scramble. Got some additional time. A flag goes down. He unloads, and it's picked off. Picked off by number 32 for the Castle Knights, and that's Kevin Lockhart, the safety man.
Well, we just turned that around. Do we have a flag on the play? It had to be a clipping play, I'm sure, or a holding play on Terre Haute South. Here you see it. And there's where the flag went down. And they'll just take the ball and continue where we left off a while ago.
Kevin Lockhart, the 5'8", 150-pound senior. And Castle will have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line. The indication, personal foul decline. It'll be 1st down for Castle. So an exchange of turnovers. Kevin Lockhart has the third interception of the season for the Castle Knights. Just over 7 minutes to go, third quarter. Castle on top, 19-0. The Knights break the huddle, move up to the line of scrimmage. The backs in the I formation. Keller calling signals. A mix-up in the backfield, and he's being chased and will be dragged down. And I'll tell you what happened there. The deep man in the I lost his footing. Dwayne Funk, the nose guard in there, able to make the stop, and Keller is slow to get up.
He slipped, as you can see. He slipped, and consequently, the timing was off. And he had to sprint for it, and he was not treated too well.
Got a couple of lookout blocks. The players yell, look out. Big loss on the play. It'll be 2nd and 19.
Things turned white on him pretty quick then, didn't they?
It is Mickle and Nick Holmes in the I formation behind Andy Keller, the senior quarterback. He takes the snap. The give is to Holmes, and he's wrapped up immediately by Dwayne Funk, who flew through there and was waiting for Holmes when he got the ball. Another substantial loss, and Castle is regressing now.
The defense seems to be picking up. Either the defense is picking up or the offensive line are letting up, one of the two, because they've done a pretty good job of attacking the Castle defense. Here we go with some more scores, Bill.
Owensboro Senior shutting out Union County at the half, 14-0. Catholic on top of Henderson County by a point in the third quarter. And Mount Carmel leading Fairfield 14-7 at the half. Here it is, 3rd and 26. Keller takes the snap, and we've got whistles, and I think that'll be illegal motion. I believe against Castle, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll wait for Jim Wagner's call.
I believe South's defensive thrust is a little bit tougher right now than it was earlier.
It is illegal procedure. It'll be 3rd and just call it real long. About 27. 3rd and 27 now for the Knights. Keller looking, throwing to this side. He's got Gorge out here. He's got open. Almost broke a tackle across midfield and dragged down at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10.
I think Monty looked at his hands all the way, didn't you, Bill? He just made a foot race out of it. This little defensive back, number 35. I'm sure he's not very happy with himself. But, you know, Scott Finley was working on it. He just happened to let the fellow get behind him, and he just kept working on it. But anyway, it was a nice pass. It was turned things around pretty well.
A 44-yard gain. 1st and 10 from the 46. This is Monty Goines crashing up the middle for good yardage.
He ran with quite a bit of authority on that play.
Franklin Brown and Ryad Matzer in on the stop. Pickup of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 for Castle. 4.5 to go. And what has been a scoreless third quarter, Knights on top 19-0. All the scoring thus far coming in the first half. Goines moves in motion. Keller takes the snap. Holmes takes the pitch and breaks a couple of tackles around the left side. Swings toward the out of bounds and dragged down inside the 30 near the 26-yard line of Terre Haute South.
And the Terre Haute South had good penetration once again, but they just happened to run by it. I mean, he just happened to run by that. But I've noticed that they've really picked up some momentum, the Terre Haute South ball club. You watch it when the ball snaps there. They seem to be out charging the Knights at this time.
It seems, Don, that one big play breaks the Braves back defensively. Castle now marching with a 1st and 10. At the South 27 after the pickup of 13 by Holmes. Greenwell sets on the right side. This is Holmes trying the right side. Behind Seeley and Porter. Scott Latta in on the stop. And again, it's Riyad Mansour. One of the more unusual names you'll encounter this season.
Riyad should be a quarterback. Don't you think, with a name like that, should be a quarterback? John Greenwell did a nice job of kicking out at that time. As we said before, Jeff Toon and John, they take the plays in.
Holmes on the carry.
Scott Latta
And Franklin Brown
on the stop.
It'll be third and about 4 for Castle. The ball just shy of the 20-yard line. Troy Bolton split to the top of your screen. Mickle and Holmes in the eye. Mickle on the carry. And Hull will be shy of the first down, and Castle will have 4th and about 2. Dwayne Funk, the nose guard, in on the stop. And again, Franklin Brown there, along with Matzer. So now it'll be 4th and about 3 for Castle, and the Knights will go for it, leading 19-0 with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. They break the huddle, move up to the line of scrimmage. Bolton comes to the near side. Mickle and Holmes, and nobody there. Keller forced to keep it. The flag is down, and so is Keller, and we'll have to wait and see what the call is. Looked like a busted play. Tempers flurry momentarily on the field.
I think something upset Andy out there at the time.
Here it is again as you watch.
We might be able to see something. Maybe somebody did something they weren't supposed to do.
Like Kyle Kramer, the opposing quarterback. The penalty is declined. Illegal motion against the Knights. And now the Castle defense will have to go to work. So Terre Haute South, with 1:48 to go in the third quarter, desperately needing to get the offense in gear. They stay with Kyle Kramer at quarterback. Remember, he's their third-string quarterback. They've lost 2 quarterbacks in their first 2 games this season. This is their 3rd game. They came in with a 1-1 record. Kramer dishes it off.
It's coming.
10 to the 5. A flag goes down. Touchdown, but I don't believe it'll count. I think they'll call it back. Jim Francis was over there and might have issued the critical blocking below the waist.
But I'm concerned about that kind of block, Bill, and I don't want to officiate. I never want to do that. But watch this. Jim Francis, if the fella turned his back on him, it can't be, as you can see Jim out there right now. Scotty's out in the open. If the fella turned his back on him, it can't be a clip. If he hit him, if the guy was running out, then it's a clip. But the man said it was a clip, so it's a clip. He's closer to it than we are. But it was an excellent play.
Well, Jim Wagner and his crew get the final say, and for the second time, a Castle error has cost them a touchdown. We'll have to see if they can vamp and recover here. Most disappointed man, Scott Thurman.
But a beautiful play by him. When you reach in and grab it like that. I never did get to do anything like that, Bill. It has to be exciting to a player.
Castle, of course, maintains possession. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25. Jeff Mickle on the carry. And Matzer and Brown combining on the stop.
R.I. Wright. I guess that's a whole lot like what used to be student body right, student body left off of the wing tee. Only now this is the same thing. You got 2 men leading and 1 guy following. That's about the extent of it. Here we are, R.I. left.
Francis is the extra man on the backfield. Keller takes the snap. The give is to Mickle trying the left side. And he's near the 15, may have the first down at the 14-yard line. Jeff Toon reporting in, replacing John Greenwell. Scott Finley in on the stop for South. And now an official's timeout, and we'll have a measurement here. 49 seconds left to go in the first in the third quarter, rather. It's 19-0. Castle got 7 in the first and tacked on 12 more in the second quarter. 19-0 lead. And as you can see, the Knights pick up a first down. So Castle marching after the costly penalty called on Jim Francis.
And you know what we do on that far eye right? We put 2 fullbacks in to lead Mickle up through there. We got Francis, we got Scott Thurman, both of them powerful fellas. There you see it.
And they're in there again. On 1st and 10. Mickle following the way. Big hole down near the 5-yard line. That play works exceptionally well.
Here you see the replay. These 2 fellas just lead up, and he runs he runs to daylight wherever he finds that hole. And when you got 2 fellas blocking for you like that, I believe even Bill, you could run behind those guys.
Well, I don't know about that. 2nd down and 2. Mickle on the carry. As the first down, it'll be 1st and goal inside the 5. A flag goes down.
Number 42, Franklin Brown, the fullback, did something not very nice, and I think it was to Andy again.
A late hit?
No, I think it was but the official said it wasn't necessary to tackle the quarterback after the play that late.
Well, they'll decide it, and we'll start the 4th quarter with Castle knocking at the door. 3 quarters complete at Castle High School. The Knights, 19, Terre Haute South, nothing. Story, 12 minutes left to go in the game. Castle on top 19-0 and knocking at the door. And Jeff Mickle has been the workhorse tonight. 16 carries for 91 yards. And on this drive, he has carried 4 consecutive times for 20 yards.
This is amazing, Bill. There was unnecessary roughness call on hit the quarterback, and I think the penalty was about 36 inches.
It'll be 1st and goal to go from the 2.
You think Mickle will take it in?
I would say that's a
Behind Thurman and Francis?
Mickle's carried 4 straight times. There's the 5th time trying the right side. No indication yet. He appears to be just shy of the goal line. And it'll be 2nd and inches. Jeff Toon comes away, indicating just inches shy. This will all but seal a win for Castle. South locking up in their tight goal line defense. The Knights break the huddle, move up to the line of scrimmage. The power eye. Keller calling signals. The give to Mickle, left side, spun around and he's in. Touchdown, Castle. Jeff Mickle's 4th touchdown tonight, his 10th of the season, and he carried 6 consecutive times on that drive following the penalty for 25 yards and a touchdown.
Here you see it. Excellent blocking on the quick side outs with Tony Rooney and Darvin Halvins. Those fellas, they were down low, and all he had to do, of course, he had these 2 big fellas in front of him. And like I said, Bill, I believe you could have carried that one in.
Steve Peters will try the extra point. Mickle now 18 carries for 95 yards and 4 touchdowns. The ball is down, the kick is up, and it is good. It's good. So, with 11:18 to play in the game, the score now, Castle 26 and Terre Haute South, nothing. Tomorrow on CBS Sports Saturday, the WBC Super Welterweight title is on the line. When the hitman Tommy Hearns faces Fred Hutchings. Hearns will be defending the title for the first time since his 2nd-round knockout of Roberto Duran. It's scheduled for 12 rounds. Hearns with a 39-1 record with 33 knockouts. Hutchings 27-1 with 17 KOs. It's Hearns and Hutchings for the WBC Super Welterweight title, followed by the 31st running of the Woodward Stakes for 3-year-olds at Belmont Park. Championship boxing in the Woodward Stakes tomorrow on CBS Sports Saturday, following the Washington at Michigan game. CBS Sports and WEHD once again bringing you together for a season of excitement. A high end over end kick taken by Kramer at the 10. 15, 20, 25, and out near the 30-yard line. Nice return by Kyle Kramer. And South is back in business, but trailing big, 26-0 with 11 minutes to go in the game. Mike Hall still in on the field. The scoring play, 25 yards in 6 plays. Scoring drive, 25 yards in 6 plays, taking just 2 minutes and 10 seconds after the interception by Scott Thurman. Kramer remains at quarterback. He takes the snap, looks, rolls, throws, and it's in and out of the hands of Stevens, and incomplete, and it'll be 2nd and 10. And to be honesty compels you to report that Terre Haute South at this time looks but a shell of their former selves.
Kyle Kramer's got to be getting tired, Bill. He's done about everything tonight that a fella could do. He runs back the punts. He, of course, doing an excellent job, and he is a halfback listed in the program, and as I told you earlier, and they just had to convert him, and he's probably a good athlete. He's a guy they had to work with. We don't like to do that. Jeff, too, did a good job defensively on that last play.
2nd and 10, the junior calling signals. Again, a look to go to the air. He's got some time, throwing, and it's intercepted.
I actually think he caught that off of the other fella's leg. Did you see that, Bill? It's here you can see it.
Let's see if we can see what happens.
He throws the ball.
It's batted by Toon.
And bounced back up off his leg. And,
off the
Jeff,
knee.
and then Jeff found himself a ball carrier all of a sudden.
Look what I've got. The new quarterback in for Castle, number 18, Bobby Birch, a 5'10", 165-pound sophomore. The give is to Mark Goins, trying the left side.
I believe one more step, then Mark is going to outrun some people.
Dragged down by Stevenson. And here's Mark Goins in action again, taking the ball from Birch.
Just a little pitch there. And right there, just one more step, and look out, he'd have been turning that corner.
So Bobby Birch, the new quarterback, a sophomore. This Castle's reserve unit in there. Holmes is the deep man in the eye. And Holmes takes the ball, takes through the left side, and crashes down near the 10-yard line.
Here you see the replay of it, Bill. Fullback lead. Just followed on through on the power play. He was moving pretty well, too. In fact, these last few plays, only one man's coming in making that stop. I like the idea of letting these young people, after you're ahead 26-0, this is a good time to get some experience, and this is good experience for them when they're playing in a varsity game.
Goins following Bobby White should have it up for the first down inside the 10-yard line. We'll wait and see where they mark the ball. And he will be shy. He'll be just shy, and it'll be 4th down. And, of course, Castle at this point will go for it. Holmes returns, carrying the play, and more than likely will be carrying the ball. Birch, the sophomore quarterback, replacing Andy Keller, who had gone the distance. 26-0. Lead compiled by Keller.
I don't believe he made that.
Holmes carrying, trying to get the first down. And it will all depend on the marking of the ball.
Here you see the replay. It's about the same play they ran a while ago, but I'd be a little doubtful. No, here we go. It's
They turned it over
South.
on down.
The Braves have got the ball on their, what, about their own 5, 6, 7-yard line? 5-yard line.
It'll be 1st and 10 for South. They're back under their own uprights. 8:05 to go in the game. 26-0. Castle on top. While we have a second, want to thank Dan Monahan, Bill Van Alstyne for working with us on stats tonight. And, of course, Jack Keller alongside, as always, working as our able-bodied spotter. On 1st and 10, with under 8 minutes to go. Kramer remaining at quarterback. Fisher and Stevenson in the backfield. This is Fisher taking the ball. Thurman is there, along with Eric Mullen.
I believe we have some folks out there exchanging pleasantries. And it's about 10 or 15 yards away from the play, and I imagine the officials might have a word for that, Bill.
Pickup of 2, it'll be 2nd and 8. Out of the eye.
Here goes your blitz, and it worked.
Taylor took the ball and was sacked immediately. Here are some updates from around the high school football scene. Harrison putting it to Bosse, 20-0. In the 4th quarter, Terre Haute North leading Wrights, 21-7. Jasper shutting out Vincennes, 7-0. Tell City still leading Boonville 17-0 in the 3rd quarter. Owensboro Senior racking it up over Union County, leading big in the 4th period.
And they're the #1 team in Kentucky, right?
And Henderson County 15, Owensboro Catholic 7 in the 4th quarter. 3rd and 7 here for Terre Haute South. Kramer was looking for some help and nobody was back there except big bad Bobby Biggs.
He liked that.
Look at that number 72, Bobby Biggs jogging off the field. John Watson's kind of player.
You bet your life. He enjoyed that, I'll guarantee you. A little bobble in the backfield gives you a chance to find yourself.
And South threatening to punt it away, although with everything to lose, or everything to gain and nothing to lose, may try razzle-dazzle, but that's not the case here. And Kramer finally kicks off a good one. Takes a good hop to Bolton, gets a block, cuts it back to midfield. And just in to Terre Haute South territory, Bolton with a 9-yard return. It'll be 1st and 10 for Castle. Be back here 2 weeks from tonight when the Harrison Warriors take on the Castle Knights at a special time, 10:30. The Harrison Warriors of Mitch Marsh take on the Castle Knights, September 28th, right here on WEHT. And right here, it's 1st and 10 for Castle from about the south 43-yard line. Birch on the give. This is Alan Whitmer, another sophomore, I believe. 5'8", 160 pounds. I want to apologize for some of the technical difficulties we've had tonight because of Mother Nature letting loose a couple of hours before the game time. Our camera capabilities were reduced, but we hope you're enjoying the game just as much. And, of course, we'll be back in full fold 2 weeks from tonight for Harrison and Castle. The give right up the middle and not much there for the Knights. It'll be 3rd down and 12. I want to thank our crack engineering crew led by Larry Lufsey and Mike Peckinpah for holding things together during our version of Hurricane Diana tonight. Hope you're enjoying the game on WEHT. 3rd and 12. Birch back on the delay and wrapped up immediately and going nowhere is Mark Goines, and Castle will be forced to kick it away.
That was a draw, and of course, I don't know, I'm sure Castle probably, you might be able to see it here, big tackle didn't cooperate at all, or that might have been the nose guard, and that's Dwayne Funk, that was the nose guard, and that's a guy that they like so well, and they have been double teaming him, and he probably went, sometimes you let him go the way he's going and then run off of him, but this time it didn't work. Here he comes again, there he was, 31.
Stevenson, or check it, Shipley made the fair catch signal and then decided he wished he had and took one step and stopped right at the 20-yard line. And with 3:47 to go in the game, Terre Haute South will be back in business at their own 20-yard line. Sunday, it's doubleheader football on CBS when the St. Louis Cardinals travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts, followed by the Eagles and the Cowboys. NFL, CBS Sports, and WEHT. Another season of excitement right here on Channel 25. 1st and 10. Kramer on the pitch out to Stevenson, trying the left side, breaks a couple of tackles, crashes across the 25 and down to the 26-yard line before he's brought down. Greg Hessler in on the stop, a 6', 189-pound senior. And wholesale changes at this point.
Bill, it's amazing how quick that clock runs when you're not putting that ball in the air and stopping it, is you?
Well, John Lighty said they wanted to pass 15 times tonight.
And score 26 points.
He said if they could hold them to 2 scores, they'd be in great shape. 2nd and 4, pickup of 6 by Stevenson. Loose ball gathered in by Kramer, and he's greeted immediately by members of the Castle front line.
Here you see it again, he didn't get the handle on it, that's all there was to it. You see, he brings the ball up, and sometimes what happens there, Bill, they'll pull away before the snap. And that's very common for a fella, especially like this, who's a halfback to begin with. They convert him to quarterback. He was trying to get out of there too quick.
South with a 3rd and 5, just 1 of 9 on 3rd down conversions tonight. Stevenson and Taylor are split in the pro set. This is Stevenson in motion. Kramer calling signals. Again, a loose ball, but he gathers it back. Looking, he's got it. Stevenson wide open. Another throw, and it's picked off by Lockhart. He tries to circle away. Another clip. This one, a loose ball, and it's out of bounds. And let's see if it was recovered before it went out of bounds.
He'd have to have possession on it. I don't think he would.
Jamie Holland will be guilty of the clip. Kevin Lockhart made the interception, but then fumbled the ball. We'll have to see who has possession. Player is down, I believe, on the near sideline. Here it is again, and let's see. Be able to see the interception. A lame duck thrown up there by Kramer. And there you see the clip. Then the ball sprung loose. The clip marched off. And I believe it will still be Castle ball. It will be.
Yeah, there was a change of possession, Bill. It occurred after the change.
I was concerned about the fumble. It appeared that Terre Haute South may have recovered.
Well, I think that was a muff, and he muffed it out of bounds, and it doesn't count. You have to have possession.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 30. Birch looking to throw. Going down the sidelines, incomplete. Intended out there for number 85, Brian Shamp. Exactly 2 minutes to go in the game, 26-0. And Don, when you're ahead 26-0, it's hard to find any fault.
No, you look for experience. Just what they're doing right now. They're letting these fellas have an opportunity to play some varsity football.
Castle look a little sharper tonight than perhaps you'd expected?
I think that they're a little bit concerned, and I'm sure the coach is going to see this. Some things that I think the offensive line, and I think we got a little lazy there for a while. Although they did a tremendous job, at times they looked fabulous, but at times they looked like they ought to get to step a little bit faster. And I think that's what Coach Lighty told me before the ball game.
Mark Goins on the carry, slammed to the ground by Franklin Brown, but picking up 4, it'll be 3rd and 6. Here you see Goins getting the ball, and watch Franklin meet him here and then put him to the ground. Nice solid tackle. And now Terre Haute South is going to call timeout, and they'll make wholesale changes. Bunch of clean uniforms coming in.
What is a wholesale change? What's the difference between a wholesale change, Bill, and a retail change?
Well, a retail change would be smaller. A wholesale change.
All right. I got that.
Don,
they're going to get
what's
experience.
quick side, Don? What's
quick side's the left side. Right side's strong side. We're doing well.
You've been reading too many John Madden books. Tackle the tackle.
They're getting experience now, Terre Haute South. They're bringing in their young people. I imagine some of those fellas are going to sleep good on the bus going home, don't you think? Riyadh, for one. Mark Stevenson.
Dwayne Funk.
Yes, Dwayne he's not in there now, but I can attest to what they said about him. He's so quick that you've got to get on a fella like that. He's not very big, 5'10", 175 pounds, but what he makes it up with quickness, and they're hard people to block.
3rd and 6 for the Knights, a minute 36 to go in the game. Birch, jump pass over the middle, complete for a first down. And it looked like Mike Colley. And it was. See Mike heading to the bench, and here it is again, the quick little jump pass over the middle.
Ran him straight down the field. I believe I could catch that. But that's a hard play to cover. Probably the free safety covered him.
Clock continues to run. 1:15 left to go. 26-0, Castle on top.
There's a little counter back to the backside if he keeps his feet.
Steve Jones on the carry.
Of course, number 67 had something to do with him keeping his feet.
Pickup of 2, it'll be 2nd and 8. There you see Jones at work again. Dan Brown is in there at one split in position. Again, the reserve unit working. Bobby Birch, sophomore quarterback, takes the snap. The pitch to Mark Goines, cuts it back. Then dragged down.
Mark's got good speed. Here you see it. Just a little pitch to him. He steps inside. I think he's taught to run off the block. And that's exactly what he does. He stops the clock. No, the clock's still running with 10 seconds to go, Bill.
This should be the final play if indeed they get it off. Birch calling signals with 4 seconds left. Takes the snap. Give is to Goines, and he is wrapped up, and that will do it. The ball game is over.
And the coaches exchange pleasantries as they walk off the field.
The Castle Knights with their 4th win of the season. They open the home season with a win, 26-0 over Terre Haute South. And the Knights looking impressive, John, for their...
Yes, they did. Of course, they're strong again. I think there's some things that they're going to be working on, but, you know, with one more victory under your belt, you get to feeling tougher all the time. There were some things that I'm sure, like I said, the coaching staff, the tackling on both teams was a little shoddish at times. And they weren't wrapping people up. And you've got to work on those things, but it's still early in the season, and that's why we practice every night.
26-0. We'll be back in a minute.